finally admit that Kamala Harris is right about everything? Like, I mean, is it too late? Is it like non-Paul? Is it like a bad thing to finally admit like she was right? She was right about everything about Donald Trump. I think in reality, she was being a little too nice, too conservative with how far he would go. Y'all, before we dive into this clip, I want to show y'all and the recent polling that's been coming out. Please do me the hugest favor, like, comment, subscribe, and let's jump right up into this.
The last 4 years, there have been tremendous economic wins, and you've just laid out a big plan. But still, polling shows that most likely voters still think Donald Trump is better to handle the economy. Why do you think that is?
Well, here's what I know in terms of the facts. Donald Trump left us with the worst economy since the Great Depression when you look at, for example, the employment numbers.
It was during COVID, and employment was so high because we shut down the government, we shut down the country.
Even before the pandemic, he lost manufacturing jobs by most people's estimates, at least 200,000. He lost manufacturing plants. Ask the auto workers how he lost auto plants. We have grown over 20 new auto plants. He has an agenda. Let's just deal with right now going forward, not to mention what happened in the past. He has an agenda that would include making it more difficult for workers to earn overtime, an agenda that would include cutting off access to small business loans for small businesses, an agenda that includes tariffs to the point that the average working person will spend 20% more on everyday necessities and an estimated $4,000 more a year on those everyday necessities, to the point that top economists in our country, from Nobel laureates to people at Moody's and Goldman Sachs, have compared my plan with his and said my plan would grow the economy, his would shrink the economy. Some of them have actually assessed that his plan would increase inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So the facts remain that Donald Trump has a history of taking care of very rich people. And I'm not mad at anybody for being rich, but they should pay their fair share. But tax cuts for the billionaires and the top corporations in our country, and then not really paying much attention to middle-class families. My perspective on the economy is when you grow the middle class, America's economy is stronger. And there's empirical evidence to prove my point correct.
Wouldn't we have just been better off voting for the woman? I mean, we were so worried about if she was black or not. When now I bet y'all don't give a fuck if she was black, purple, yellow, or orange, because new polling has come in and Donald Trump has fucked up this economy. Now, before we get into the polling numbers, I want to show y'all a little bit of information from Kobayashi letters. I might be saying that wrong. I'm such a terrible pronouncer. Charge it to my heart, or charge it to my head, not my heart. Something. I don't care. Charge it wherever you want to charge it to. But let's go ahead and look at these fucking statistics that just came out. So this is the first post they put up recently, and it says breaking: U.S. private employers cut an average of 11,250 jobs per week over the 4 weeks ending October 25th. So this brings it to negative 45,000 jobs, the second largest job since 2020. And we're not even in a pandemic right now, y'all. This contrasts with the ADP's report that initially said that jobs rose. However, Goldman Sachs also agrees jobs fell by negative 50,000 in October, just accelerating the U.S.'s market downward momentum. Next, we have this other little tidbit of information. U.S. consumer delinquencies are surging. This is 3% of auto loans are transitioning into 90-plus day delinquencies in quarter 3 of 2025, the highest in 15 years. At the same time, 7.1% of credit card debt is becoming seriously delinquent, nearing the highest in 14 years. Student loans serious delinquency spiked by 13.5% to 14.3%. An all-time high, and this follows expiration of student loan relief period as missed payments are beginning to reappear in credit reports. Mortgage delinquencies are also increasing, with a 1.3% transitioning into serious delinquencies last quarter, the highest in 8 years. Consumers are drowning in debt. It's not looking good for the average American. I bet y'all wish y'all voted for that Indian woman now, since y'all didn't want to be black. I bet you wish you voted for her, because does her race really matter now? Does it? Does it? because it seems like a lot of people are in debt. The U.S. unemployment likely rose again last month. Like, this is just hopping on what we just said. The Chicago Fed estimates the unemployment rate increased to 4.36% in October, the highest since October 2021. The increase reflects slower hiring as well as a higher rate of layoffs, quits, and retirements. It also includes the government shutdown. As a result, unemployment has now risen to a full percentage point since May 2023. Meanwhile, U.S.-based employers announced 1,099,500 layoffs year to date, nearly matching the pace seen in 2009. This is unsustainable, y'all. And the polling bears it out. Now, remember, Kamala Harris, she told us, she said, Donald Trump is going to put us in a recession as soon as the next year. Donald Trump's tariffs is going to kill the U.S. economy. He's going to join into terrorist wars. That makes no sense. He's going to make sure that we, the American people, suffer. Wow, billionaires and millionaires. Yeah, those people, they're the ones who are going to reap all the benefits, and they are, because guess what? The stock market is at all-time record highs. Yep, they're just pumping their money into stock buybacks, and they're laying off workers. But we love that trickle-down economics, right? It's trickling down. No, it's not. It's dry as fuck out here. But y'all voted for this. Now let's look at some Harry Enten, because you know Donald Trump, that's his favorite pollster when he gives some good information. Well, this is not so good information for Donald Trump, because consumers are feeling the impacts of this inflation. Consumers are not liking Donald Trump. Let's look at the clip.
No, not at all. And if I had one piece of advice to my fellow fast food lover, it would be, in the words of Michael Jordan, stop it. Stop going after the polls. You have a real problem. Because take a look here. Americans on inflation, you go back to October of 2024. Who did Americans trust more in inflation, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? They trusted Donald Trump by 9 points on average.
Now, that's the reason why I showed y'all that clip, because the clip that I showed you was from, I believe, September, October of last year before the election. She was letting you know, Donald Trump is going to decimate the U.S. economy for middle class and working class people, and only the rich are going to be able to survive this. Well, you thought he was the one for you. Look at him today.
You jump over to this side of the screen, those same exact polls have him way underwater, 26 points underwater on his net approval on inflation. So it's not that the polls are fake, it's that the American people have turned against you, Mr. President. You've gone from leading by 9 points on inflation to being 26 points underwater. You're doing something very wrong in the minds of the American public.
I mean, negative 26, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem.
Let's go down this path of hypotheticals, right?
Yeah.
If the polling is off a la 2024, what would that mean for the president?
Yeah, okay.
And inflation.
Exactly. So you see this switcheroo, right, going from +9 to -26. That's a move of over 30 points in the wrong direction. But let's say the polls are off. Let's take up Donald Trump on his hypothetical, right? Oh, the polls always underestimate me. Well, here's Trump's net approval rating on inflation. Currently, he's 26 points below water. If the polls are off like they were in 2024, he's still got a Titanic-sized problem. He's then 24 points underwater on inflation. So yes, the polls underestimated him, but just by about 1.5 points in 2024, he would still have a massive problem on inflation, even if the polls were off like they were a year ago.
Okay, just go down the underestimating route when it comes to, what if they're underestimated? What if Donald Trump himself is underestimated? What if the Republicans are underestimated?
Yeah, okay, so you see this right here, right? You see, if Donald Trump is underestimated the same way that he was in 2024, he'd still be way below water. But there is no guarantee that the polls are underestimating Donald Trump. They may, in fact, be overestimating Republicans.
I meant overestimating.
It's all good, Kate Baldwin. It's all good. I got you right here.
I'm sorry.
No worries. So, you see this right here. If they were underestimating the Republicans, but the truth is they could be overestimating the Republicans. We just saw this a week ago in both Virginia and New Jersey. Who the polls underestimated in 2025? They underestimated the Democrat, Mikey Sherrill, by 8 points in New Jersey. They underestimated Abigail Spanberger's margin by 5 points in Virginia. The bottom line is this. The polls on inflation are absolutely awful for Donald Trump. Even if they were slightly better, he'd still be way below water. But the problem, Kate Baldwin, might be even worse than the polls suggest. The bottom line is this. Donald Trump has a massive issue on his hand, and no wishing will make it go away, because people feel it in their pocketbooks every day, and they see it as the prices climb ever higher when they try and purchase their groceries.
Funny thing is, all these people, we're feeling this now, right? But We told you. She told you. Kamala Harris told you. This would be the position you're in. Donald Trump has not been in office a full year yet. And look at the polls. We're not even halfway through this. We're not even like a 25% way through this. We still have like a whole year to finish off with Donald Trump. And yes, it's good. Democrats, we're being proven right? However, guess what? To fix this is going to take a time. The same way Donald Trump left office. He left us in a disaster. It took 4 years and people got upset with Biden because Biden didn't finish it all the way. You can feel it all the way yet, right? But you saw the improvements. Which I was like, let's bring back the person that bankrupted the casino. I mean, I thought the House always won. Not in Donald Trump's world, obviously. And so now people are now doing reverse course, and it's not even been a year yet, which is very sad because it's like Google is free, people. I love to say this in my comments. Google is free. Do your research. Stop listening to what is coming out of people's mouths, including my own. Do research. I don't just look at information from CNN. I don't just look at information from MSNBC. I look at information also from Newsmax. I look at information from Fox News. I look at information from Politico. I look at information from The Independent. I look at information from CBS because guess what? It gives a holistic picture. Holistic. You want holistic pictures so that when this information comes up, nobody can tell me, hey, Kamala Harris said, yeah, I know she said this because guess what? When she said it, I also did my own information. And now people are jumping up and down about $2,000 stimulus checks. He's trying to throw a little bit of change your way so that you can forget that you're underwater. Remember? Because he's giving you $2,000 when what you're spending, an average of $4,000 extra. You're getting half of your money back. We also saw that Scott Bessent on Fox News is now saying, hey, Donald Trump is going to help you with the coffee costs and he's going to reduce the tariffs. I thought tariffs were not a tax. So now you're admitting that tariffs are a tax on the American public? Like, they don't know what they want to do. Now they want to introduce a 50-year mortgage. Oh, turns out they didn't do the math on a 50-year mortgage. It would actually be more expensive to have a 50-year mortgage than it would be to have a 30-year mortgage. So you're actually spending more money. But these are not the people that deal in facts. They deal in ideas and concepts. 50-year mortgage. You would never even own a house. At this current rate, people aren't getting and purchasing houses until they're 40. So that means when you're 90, you would own your house. You would have no equity. Like, what are we doing, people? What are we doing? We love to do this song and dance because what we're going to do is we're going to go in 2026. We already see the wins. Democrats are going to win the midterms. Democrats are going to win the presidency. We're going to have all levers of power in 2028. And then guess what? Donald Trump by then would have fucked up the shit so bad like he did the last time. It's going to take a whole nother 4-8 years to fix it. So then we're going to have Democrats in, right? And they're going to get mad at Democrats. You're going to get so upset in 2030 because you're going to be like, well, why isn't it fixed yet? I don't know why, because maybe we're not even a full year in yet and he's already fucked it up so bad that the polling is where it is. People, please, let's learn from this mistake, which is why I brought up these clips today. Let's learn from our mistakes. Our mistakes are showing us that maybe one party creates recessions because although the current recessions in modern history have happened underneath Republicans, do we not remember the stock market crash in 2008? That was a Republican. Pandemic, the way Donald Trump botched it, Republican. What's going on? The last Democrat to balance the budget, Bill Clinton. The last Democrat to help drop down the deficit, Obama. And then, of course, we got Donald Trump, who's only blooming the deficit, who's only grifting off the presidency, who's only making your life so unaffordable that you don't know which way is up and down. But y'all tell me what y'all think about all this in the comments. I am done with my rant for the day. I just thought we should just... When are we going to admit that she was right? I'm done with my rant, but I think we should start admitting she was right. Y'all tell me what y'all think about all this in the comments. Remember, check out my links in my bio. Make sure you like, share this video, subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of this month. I know a little ambitious, but I think we can do it. We're building a great community, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.